All right, so tonight was one of those nights I really didn't feel like cooking, but have to because this weekend we went real simple. So we got some deer steaks going. I just put a simple seasoning on them. Actually, it was the caramelized onion burger. I like that seasoning. I like all of Kinder's seasonings, but that's the one I chose tonight. Potatoes going, and then the deer steaks are just cooking up. Don't judge my oven or stovetop. This is real life. I need to clean it. And then we just did simple salad here with the dressing we made. And my husband decided that he liked that dressing. So I just used the last of that dressing up with these salads. And then I have some, show here, better lighting, some cranberry juice I canned up last year. So we're just going to finish this off tonight. And this weekend we had dinner down at my mom's one night. And then we just ate salads with that leftover chicken over the weekend. And so this is dinner tonight. I'll show you when it's all done. All right, and this is dinner tonight. Just some deer steaks with potatoes, butter, salt, pepper, garlic powder, sour cream, and our salads with the homemade red onion dressing we made. And I need to make a new batch of that dressing already. So this is dinner tonight.
All right, so for tonight's dinner, I just kind of wanted to go simple, and I had some leftover breakfast sausage in the refrigerator, and it was like the end pieces from our breakfast sausage. So I find it easiest, my hands look wet because I just washed them before doing this, but I find it easiest to just crumble them up like this. And then after I crumble it up, let it brown a little bit in the pan. Then I can break it up the rest of the way with the spatula here. But I know I've said this before, but it's so important flavor-wise to make sure you brown your meat. Like actually get it a little bit brown. So that's what I do here. I just make sure I get it nice and brown. Here I'm just showing you the carrots I forgot to pull out. I don't have any fresh carrots. So I pulled some out of the freezer since we're trying to use up freezer stuff. And those didn't end up being defrosted. So we just made it work. Here you can see the sausage is actually browning up really nice. And before I add anything else to the pot, I always make sure to get that brown color that you see right there on the meat, on the beef, the pork, whatever it is. You always want to get that brown color because it adds so much flavor. As you can see, so pretty. And then once that browns, I can turn the heat down a little bit if I need to and start adding the rest of the ingredients. So for instance, if you're browning beef in your pan, don't brown it with the onions because you don't want your onions brown. You just want your meat brown. So do it to the meat first. Here I'm just adding some frozen celery, which starts popping a little bit because it's frozen. But I had bought organic celery in the store, and I don't go through celery fast enough. So I just chopped up what I had left over and stuck it in the freezer. So we're actually adding frozen celery and frozen broccoli in this, or not broccoli, carrots. So I just give that a little stir, make sure the water cooks off it a little bit so they can start to soften. And then we're going to add some onion. Here, I just chopped up a white onion because you guys know my favorite onions are red onions. And I did have some white onions in there, but they were starting to go bad because I don't use them quick enough. So I made sure to use it in the soup tonight. Now I'm just seasoning up the soup here with some salt, pepper. I'm sure I'll do some minced garlic and just seasoning it up just to kind of how we like it. So here's some leftover stock from the chicken I cooked. And don't worry, that is just the fat from the chicken. And I don't mind adding it in there. I did strain off some of it before I jarred it up. So it's not a crazy amount. I probably could have taken some more out of it, but it is what it is. So I let it simmer for a little while to make sure those carrots cooked up. It smells so good, like at this stage, and we're not even done yet. So if you remember in my freezer tour that I had some cheese tortellini in the freezer, which is what I'm putting in here to finish off the soup. And it actually turned out really good. I just kind of threw this together with like odds and ends I had from in the fridge and freezer. So I feel like this turned out really successful. The only thing I might have changed about it is maybe a little less liquid. I felt like there was just a tad too much broth in there for this soup. The tortellini did soak up a little bit of it, but still I'd like it more on the thicker side or less brothy. But either way, it turned out super good and dinner was super delicious. And of course, we had it with our salads. I did top it with a little bit of leftover cheese that I had in the fridge. So yeah, this one was super delicious. Okay, so I contemplated whether or not I should show you guys raw meat, but this is real food, and these are the pork cutlets that we got from our hog, and I have a video coming out soon to show you everything we got from our hog and how much it cost. I trimmed them up a little bit and then I cut them into a little bit of a thicker strip because they're tenderized already. So they stay really tender, which makes it even better. So here I'm just making just a super basic stir fry sauce. This is so easy and it's actually really good. The original recipe I found, I have tweaked so much that I can't even remember what the original recipe is. I do prefer our stir fry sauce to be just a teeny bit on the vinegar side, just a teeny bit. So that's, one of the main ways I've adapted this, but basically all that is in here is soy sauce, brown sugar, rice vinegar, minced garlic. It can be fresh or dry. It can be garlic powder. And then I also add sesame oil, which is one of my favorites, and just a little bit of chicken stock to help kind of stretch the sauce a little bit. And it also adds a lot of really good flavor. So I'm just going to add these all to this little pan, mix it all up, and then we're going to add a couple tablespoons of cornstarch. And this helps thicken up that sauce. So while I was making the stir fry sauce, I started browning up my cutlets. Now, the cutlets don't have very much fat in them. And you can see I kind of got some good brown bits in here, almost on the verge of brown or burning, but they were definitely not burnt. That crispy brownness is so good, you guys. It just kind of makes it, plus it gives the meat a little bit more texture, which is perfect. So I just brown this up until I get some color on it and until it's cooked through most of the way before I add anything else. So one of my absolute favorite things about stir fry is putting broccoli in it, but I love fresh broccoli and stir fry. So this is one of those things that I did not have, and I ended up borrowing, I guess, from my mom because I don't know, something about the fresh broccoli and stir fry just makes it for me, because I don't like it to turn to mush. I kind of like to get like little brown crispy bits on it, so it kind of gives you like roasted broccoli vibes. And I just feel like the frozen broccoli in this doesn't do it for me. It doesn't hit the spot quite as well. Now, if I didn't have any fresh broccoli and my mom didn't, then absolutely the frozen would have went in here. But if I had the option, which I did, I would add the fresh, which is just so good. And I just cook it where it still has a little bit of a bite to it, where it doesn't turn mushy, and it tastes fresh, and it's perfect. So I do make sure to cook the broccoli to mostly how I like it before adding the stir fry sauce in. So I got it to where I wanted it, then added the stir fry sauce, and then I always make sure to let this simmer for at least 5 minutes, because you want that sauce to thicken up. You want it to kind of cook down just a little bit. You want all the flavors to meld together with your meat and your vegetables. And I do add this a little bit before the broccoli is done, and let the broccoli finish cooking in the sauce. And then once it's done, once it's simmered and thickened up, then we just serve this over rice. And it is just one of those super, super easy meals, and it comes together so quick. And yeah, we love doing this, especially with the cutlets. I find the tenderness of them just kind of makes it, but you could really make this stir fry sauce or stir fry with any protein of your choice. I forgot to tell you guys that I added gochugaru flakes. I think that's how you say it. I love this stuff. I use this when I make teriyaki chicken. I love this stuff. It is so good. I'll leave the link down below if you guys want to try it. It's one of my favorites. I never run out of it. I will never let myself run out of it, because you never know when you're going to need it, because it's good on so many things. So this night, it was a pretty snowy night and day, so I decided to make a comfort food that we actually haven't eaten in a really long time. So I ended up cooking up a chicken in the Instapot to have the broth, and picking the chicken. And then I just started sauteing up some carrots, onion, celery, seasoned it up with our favorite seasonings, and added the stock so it could cook a bit. And here I am making dumplings, because we are making chicken and dumplings tonight. So I just searched a recipe online for drop dumplings, because my husband prefers the drop dumplings. I prefer the noodle dumplings or the flat dumplings, but I compromised and we had drop dumplings. no, every once in a while I'll make the flat dumplings and he'll eat it without it being a big deal. But I decided that we were doing drop dumplings tonight. I think I over seasoned them a bit. They were actually really good. It's just I prefer my dumplings to be a little less seasoned. So next time I won't add as much salt or thyme to them. But they still turned out really good. So this dough actually came together really easily. It seemed a little dry until you did this here, kind of pushed it together. And then I just kind of rolled them into like golf ball size, kind of, and dropped them in. So basically, after you roll your dumplings, you drop them in your soup, you put a lid on it, and then you let them steam and simmer in your soup for 15 minutes. And then you'll take the lid off, turn them over, put the lid back on and let them steam a few more minutes. But they turned out really good. So here I am adding the chicken, and then I'm going to add the dumplings in here. And I actually could have made these dumplings a bit smaller than I did, but you'll see at the end, they kind of like took up the bowl. Here I'm just adding milk, and I think I had cornstarch in here to thicken it up. I wish I would have added more cornstarch because I like my chicken and dumplings pretty thick, and this was brothy. Are you seeing a theme? I've made stuff too brothy this week. But so yeah, there's the dumpling. I just rolled them into balls, added them in, and let them cook. Alright, the next night I decided that it was going to be pizza night, and who doesn't love pizza night? I know my son and husband love pizza night. So I've been using this same pizza dough recipe for quite a while now. I could probably go back and look on my Instagram when I first made it. It's probably been a few years, and it is so simple. You can see there I added a little bit of sourdough, but that was more for flavor, and that's actually the first time I ever added sourdough. It didn't really change the flavor much, so I just had some discard that I needed to use. So but yeah, I mean, it was that simple. That's all the ingredients. You can see I make a mess of myself every time I cook, but and this dough, the good thing about it is that it only takes an hour to rise. So while my dough is rising, I decided to make another salad dressing for you guys. I've been making my pretty pink salad dressing. You can see I just needed the yolk out of that egg and I dropped it in the cup. But this is my other favorite salad dressing. If I only could choose two salad dressings, it'd be my pretty pink salad dressing and this salad dressing, which is just kind of your typical Caesar salad dressing. It is so good. I'll make a separate video soon to show you guys exactly how I make it, but you can kind of see what all I'm adding here. It comes together super quick, and I ended up adding extra raw garlic to this because I was getting sick at the time, and as we speak, I am still trying to get over that sickness. So I've been drinking a lot of Mullein tea, a lot of herbal teas, to kind of combat whatever is going on with me because it is hanging around for a long time. I also always add a little extra Parmesan because it's yummy. So the egg yolks go in here, and they go in here raw. basically like you're making a mayonnaise. When you make a mayonnaise, you put your egg yolks in raw, add your oil and other stuff, and then kind of blend it up. This kind of is the same way. So you're adding that egg yolk and you're adding oil in here. So when you mix it up, it's kind of like a creamy based Caesar, because you actually have kind of the ingredients that you would make mayo with, but I'm just adding the extra ingredients to make it a Caesar dressing, and it is so good. I like it that it's a little bit spicy because of those extra raw garlic cloves. Now you could let this sit for a little bit, and that garlic eventually mellows out a little bit. So I'm just blending it up here, and it's kind of fun to watch it come together, but this is so good. I'll make a separate video how to make this. It is so easy, so good, and it lasts in the fridge for a little while. But I needed something else besides that pretty pink salad dressing I've been eating. I just needed a little bit of a change, so they're both in my refrigerator for my salad that I have with dinner almost every night. You can see the thickness of it right there. Once you refrigerate it for a little while, it actually thickens up quite a bit. So here is that pizza dough risen beautifully. I've grated up some cheese. I think I grated up some Monterey Jack and sharp cheddar. That's just what I had, so that's what I used. And I made my son his own little pizza with this pizza dough. And then I made my husband and I one because my son just likes cheese. So another thing I like about this dough is I oil my pan pretty heavily, as you see there. And then I put the dough down, flatten it out, and after you put all the toppings on it and bake it, it almost kind of fries the bread on the or not the bread, but the crust on the bottom. It doesn't burn. It almost fries it, and it turns out delicious. So I had some leftover bacon in the refrigerator that I'm going to add on this. I had an open can of crushed tomato, so I just seasoned that up, topped the pizza, baked it, and that's what we had for dinner tonight with a side salad. So I actually totally forgot that I had found a jar of pesto in the refrigerator that I had bought and not used all of. So I just put like plops of basil on that pizza. Oh my gosh, I'm doing that from now on. Look at how pretty it is. It was delicious. So for dinner tonight, I did not record the whole process of how I make this, and that is because this dinner deserves a video on its own. Seriously, I want to show you guys step by step how to make this, because this is my family's favorite dinner. My husband and son ask for this twice a week. Well, I don't make it twice a week, but they always ask for it. That's how good it is. And this is the meat in there is chicken thighs. So this is a chicken Caesar pasta, and I make a different version of my Caesar dressing for this so it works with the warm pasta. And then traditionally you serve this over a bed of romaine lettuce, which is how I like it. My husband and son just like the pasta plain. I love adding the hot pasta over the lettuce and mixing it all together, and it wilts the lettuce just a little bit. The textures are amazing. My mouth is watering because I'm craving it. This stuff is so good, and I will be showing you guys this soon, well, because I make it pretty much once a week. This is in rotation at all times. So yeah, I'll show you how I serve it, and then I mix it up and eat it. I know the lettuce thing sounds weird, but guys, trust me, trust me. So I'm gonna mix this all up and show you what it looks like. Thank you guys so much for being here today. I hope you got some new ideas from watching this video, maybe some new dinners to try. And I have so many videos in my arsenal right now. I literally cannot keep up with the editing because I've been filming so much. So we have a bunch of new stuff coming up, including an RV tour, garden stuff, more food, and an Azure haul. So I can't wait to see you guys then. Thanks so much. Bye.